One mic.
One mic.
That's all you need.
That's it. Y'all ready?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to tell them what this is that we're going to play for them?
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here playing with these folks who I grew up listening to as a teenager, believe it or not, and all the way from Louisiana, and they were here. But we're going to start with a song that is on one of the most recent albums I recorded with my family, the Riley family, and it's called La Valse de la Peine, the Waltz of Sorrow. Tu m'as pris de la vie et d'aider mon criminel. Y'a un an que t'es parti, y'a un an que t'es parti, pour toujours, toujours. Tu m'as dit que tu m'aimerais pour toujours, toujours. Tu m'as dit que tu ne quitterais pas jamais, jamais un criminel. Y'a un an que t'es parti, y'a un an que t'es parti, pour toujours, toujours. Ah, je t'ai dit que je t'aimerais pour tout le temps, tout le temps. Ah, je t'ai dit que tu ne quitterais pas jamais, jamais un criminel. Va rouler loin d'ici, va rouler comme un an, en peine, en peine. Je t'ai promis de soigner pour toujours. Toujours c'était une promesse cassée par le destin, destin criminel. Va rouler loin d'ici, va rouler comme un homme, en peine, en peine. Thank you. So this next song, I heard Eric and Susie playing this with Mark and Ann and Michael Doucet on one of their records that they put out in the 80s. And it's a song that we learned from Dewey Balfour. It's called Petite Fille de la Campagne. Y'all know what that means? Good job. You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Chercher ma châtifie, elle m'a dit elle voulait pas s'engueuler. Moi je vais faire chez moi tout seul à ma maison. Je parlerai sur la petite fille de la campagne. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
It's awfully quiet in here.
I know.
Oh, it's too dark.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We always are coming out laughing. We're just laughing at one another. We got here from Mount Airy, North Carolina. And we was all out for breakfast this morning and had bacon, and I couldn't eat it. I'd forgot my Sunday teeth. Yeah. Directly, David, he comes down, and he was mad when he got to the table and figured out he'd forgot his comb. So, I mean, we was just all out of sorts. But we're tickled to be here. We're going to play y'all some of these old Surrey County tunes, and David and I was going to sing some stuff and just have some fun. A little bit of Sail Away, ladies.
Thank you.
What are you going to do, David?
I'm just going to play whatever you tell
John
me.
Henry?
Yeah.
All right. A bit of John Henry like Tommy Gerald used to play it. I learned John Henry the old original way and then got to going over to Tommy's house and he played it a different way. So we'll play it that way.
in our country, over Mount Airy, North Carolina, there's a lot of old time, a lot of bluegrass music, and there's a great little radio station, WPAQ. Yes.
Good, hey.
That's been playing, had a promise to promote and preserve the music of our area since it signed on in Groundhog's Day in 1948. And back through the years, there's been a whole lot of bluegrass bands who played on the station, a whole lot of old time bands, and fella who originally started off playing with his brother and they split up. We don't know if it was over a girl or over money, but maybe both, was Charlie Monroe. And he's a very popular name in our area. So we'll do you an old Charlie Monroe song now. It's called I'm Coming Back, but I Don't Know When.
Kick it off there, Richard.
I'm going down that lonesome road to find my fate or victory. Our God must help us and win. I'm coming back, but I don't know when. I hate to leave my mother dear and father who is old and gray, but my true love I know you'll be till I come back to you to stay. I'm going down that lonesome road to find my fate or victory. Our God must help us, there's a way. I'm coming back, but I don't know when. When I come back, will you be here? Or will your love fade like a rose? I can never come back, should you be gone. My love for you, nobody knows. I'm going down that lonesome road to find my fate or victory. Our God must help us, there's a way. I'm coming back, but I don't know when. I'm going down that lonesome road to find my fate or victory. Our God must help us, there's a way. I'm coming back, but I don't know when. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Troubling mind?
All right.
Which?
Troubling mind?
Thank you. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with what a great center of old time in bluegrass music Surrey County, North Carolina is. And yeah, that's right. It still is. I mean, it has been for years, and it still is, and it will continue to be for years to come, I'm sure. But within a few days of when Ivy and I first moved there, just to give you an idea, we walked up to the post office, which is just right up the street from our house, and we go into the post office, and there were 3 people working at the post office, and they had their name tags on, and their name tags were Gerald, Cochran, and Flippin'. And I thought, okay, that's a good sign right there. We're in the right place.
That's all the names there.
A little bit of the Mary Mountain Hoedown.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what you're going to do right there. The Mary Mountain Hoedown. This was a Carroll
Got a
County
microphone
tune.
to use.
Well,
Remember, they can't hear.
yeah.
One of the great things about playing with Richard is not only does he know probably more tunes than all the rest of us put together, but he's probably the last remaining player in Surrey County or anywhere who actually played with all the guys that you all and we all are trying to emulate. So Richard played with them all, learned the tunes from them, made them his tunes, and he can tell you stories about them.
Yeah. Some
Or
story,
he can make up stuff. I mean,
yes, some story. No, I don't make up anything. You know, they say you can't tell a lie twice the same, you know, and Marcia said our daughter is, she'd be around where we'd be at, and I'd tell something, and she'd say, that's like you told it when I was 9. You know, she's 41 now. So, you know, I try not to embellish on some of that stuff, you know, too much. But this next tune is a Carroll County tune, which is just the next county there above. It's just across the line there. And, you know, Walter Morris was about 80 years old, and I learned this tune about 50 years ago. I've been playing the fiddle 50 years this year, and I learned a lot of tunes that first year after I got to where I could play a little bit. This is one of his tunes, and what was it we was going to do?
Mary Mountain.
Yeah, that's the good part of getting old, you know. People just looks over when you forget stuff, you know.
That's what Marcia
And I don't mind asking, you know, for help. old Tommy Gerald tune that he made famous back when I was learning to play. It's a little bit of John Brown's Dream. I reckon everybody that can play a tune on the fiddle around can play that tune. But I'll tell you this little story. We was at Galax last year playing at the Big Fiddlers Convention, and a lot of the younger kids, you know, just like 10, 12, 15 years old, and some in high school, and they always come around where I'm at, you know, and I'll just sit down and play, and they want to learn all these tunes. And we was at Galax, and there was about 5 or 6 of them kids around there from different schools around, and we just sitting there playing, and this older guy, I didn't know who he was. I don't know if he played music or not. Evidently he must have, but from what he said. But anyway, we'd sit there and played, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, and them kids, they finally got to getting tired and got up to leave. And this fella comes over to me, and he said, them kids sure is smooth. And they were this smooth and as slick as a polished penny, you know, playing. And he said all them kids were smooth at playing on them tunes, fiddles and banjos and stuff. And he said, you a rough fiddler. And I said, well, them kids, as I said, they're all young. I said, give them time.
Yeah.
John Brown's Dream.
Oh, yeah.
In a minute, we'll play a couple more here if you want to. What else you want? You got nothing you want to sing?
Wanted bumming it old freight train, slow things down.
Okay. Where's this one from?
Well, there's a whole lot of iterations of it.
There's a whole lot of iterations of it.
Josh and Jake kind of straightened out the words from the Carter family, or
I know that.
yeah.
I was a wild and reckless hobo, and I lived my happy home. And I started out on a western trip all by myself alone. Now my pockets, they was empty, for that old freight train to roll, so I could jump in empty car. Now my pocket there was empty, Lord, and my heart was filled with pain. 1,000 miles away from home, bumming an old freight train. Bumming an old freight train, Lord, I was bumming an old freight train. 1,000 miles away from home, bumming an old freight train. Well, I pulled my cap down over my eyes and I walked out to the track. And I caught the step of an old freight car and I never did look back. Now my pocket there was empty, Lord, and my heart was filled with pain. 1,000 miles away from home, bumming an old freight train. Bumming an old freight train, Lord, I was bumming an old freight train. 1,000 miles away from home, bumming an old freight train. I was bumming an old freight train, Lord, I was bumming an old freight train. 1,000 miles away from home, bumming an old freight train. Thank you.
You want to get into details?
Yeah.
Why don't you do an introduction?
What are we doing?
Go into D.
We're changing
Give
keys.
us just a second here. We're getting D chord. There's a lady here wanted to know if we'd play a little bit of Sayro for her.
I'll take, while they're getting tuned up, I'll take just a minute and introduce the members of the band here.
You want me to stand up so they can see me?
Yeah, we could be. Well, hold your applause till the end. Back here in the engine room, and she gets to stand up so she can just look down on the rest of us, which she likes to do. From Mount Airy, North Carolina, please welcome Barbara Bowman. Back here playing fiddle and inspiring all of us to be better musicians than we already are, and keeping everybody laughing and amazed at his wealth of knowledge about this stuff. From Mount Airy, this is Richard Bowman. And if you ever have a chance to come out our way and come to the Mount Airy Fiddlers Convention or the Galax Fiddlers Convention, just look for the red hat, and you'll find Richard. So, or if you just stop somebody and where's the guy in the red hat, they'll know where he is.
Where's the Bowman's at?
Yeah, really. Over here playing banjo, she's also a great fiddle player and a terrific guitar player and a brilliant radio personality. If you're, I know some of you are familiar with WPAQ in Mount Airy, which is a great little station. And Ivy has a show there on Saturdays, and she got her start in radio at PAQ. She's now the general manager of a great little station up in Emory, Virginia, WEHC 90.7. So if you need to listen to some great music on the radio, I'm sure there's a lot out here, but you should tune in to hear her Born in the Mountain show on WEHC. Emory and Henry College is where the station is in Emory, Virginia. Please welcome Ivy Shepard. The best hair in old-time music.
I don't know, what about Steve Riley?
Yeah, Steve Riley's got pretty good hair, too.
Introduce David.
I can introduce myself.
Yeah, and this is Mr. David Shepard. If if you fall on your guitars or banjos or something other than you're around Mountain area, just drop them by his house. He'll get right on them and fix them, you know. And if you're looking for a new one, he'll fix you up with that too. He's a great luthier and a great repair guy, and a really nice person on top of all of that. So.
Check's in the mail, Richard.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, we're in D.
So we've switched chords, and we got over in D chord, and I don't know the lady's name that wanted us to play Little Acero, but we're going to play this tune. Saw a man at the close of the day.
Okay.
Uh,
What was that one we just played? That was, I Saw a Man at the Close of Day.
There was Mr. Joe Birchfield, and his family played that tune. Is where I got the tune from. There was nobody in Surrey County that I knowed of played that tune. But after I got to where I could play and got to going around to the Fiddlers Conventions, I met the Roan Mountain Hilltoppers, lived in Roan Mountain, Tennessee. And they was at all the festivals. And it was two brothers, and their son and his wife was the original band members. And they just was fixtures when I was coming along trying to learn all these tunes. I don't know where they got the tune from, but they was the only ones that I know that played it back then. I guess, maybe everybody plays it now, but David sings it, but in a different chord, I think, most of the time. But I got an old fiddle, and it don't have all the chords on it. So, and I done got too old to change, I reckon, but anyway.
And Richard, you're going to be doing a workshop Sunday, aren't you?
And you're doing a banjo.
Yeah.
When, I don't know, I guess y'all probably know better than we know when we're
Just go
doing
where
things,
Susie
but,
tell us.
yeah.
Oh, I got a callers workshop Saturday too at the other place.
And of course, I don't know what I'm doing, but anyway.
He can teach you how to not know what you're doing, too.
He teach you how to talk.
I've had people.
Alexa's got schedules.
I've had people to tell me what I was doing, but I can't. It's hard for me to tell people what I'm doing, but I reckon other people knows what I'm doing. I guess maybe. What do you want to play right there?
I thought you wanted to play Yellow Cat.
That's what I said, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, I listen.
Yeah. That's the reason I play with all these young people.
That works.
That's part of it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. When you get older, you can say stuff that you wouldn't say when you're younger. The Fiddlers Conventions over the years has caused me to, and not only the Fiddlers Conventions, it's the clogging teams back where we live. has caused me to play my tunes too fast. And I have got used to doing that, and everybody else in the regular band, Marsha, when she's playing the banjo, she pushes me up so tight till I can't hardly get my breath, between, some of them tunes. And after I have got to where I do that, it's hard to slow them tunes down, sometimes. And I do know that I play some of them a little too fast, but, maybe as I get older, I'll have to slow down, I guess. What do we want to do right there? Do a tune that nobody ever does. You want to do Nellie Bly?
Yeah.
This is a tune that I learned when I went and playing hooky from school. It was a school tune that the teachers would sing and play on all the harps. And they had a rhythm band when I was in the second grade, and I got to play sticks. But they did this tune called Nellie Bly. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Sound Man, for looking after us up here.
Richard, we gotta talk about something, you and me.
Oh, okay.
You know how Barbara and David made us tote those heavy bags to the airport?
Yeah, I remember.
Remember?
Yeah.
And they were just going their merry way. And
Yeah.
anyway, it turns out they were full of CDs.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. And they're now sitting out there in the lobby.
Oh, okay. So that was a good thing then, wasn't it?
It was, but we don't. Richard and I are tired. And getting older by the second. So we really hope that you'll take home some CDs. We got some Slate Mountain Rambler records that have got Richard and Barbara and their daughter Marcia, and I believe is Malin on.
No,
but
she's not on them, but she sings the songs that's on them.
but they've got their records, and then David and I have some of ours, which are the South Carolina broadcasters.
That's right.
So please take them home.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. And we're going to play this tune. It was recorded at the Bristol sessions in 1927 by the Sheeler family, among others. But anyway, and they were some of those, about 3 families of those people that was in those recording sessions in 27 was Patrick County people. And when, of course, I wasn't born to 53, but anyway, they were still around, and I got to meet all those folks and all their families, and got to play tunes with them. But they recorded this tune. It's called Susanna Gale, and they recorded it just in 2 parts. But then after I got on up playing and was around at the conventions, people added the bass part to the tune, and so it had 3 parts to it. But we went to play for one of our friends' 90th birthday party, and he looked right up at me and he said, "Do you still play Susanna Gale like you learned it?" And of course I didn't, you know, but I said, yes, I can. So I did play it like that, and I've been trying to break everybody that when I'm around playing that tune to learn it and just put the 3 parts to it the old way. So we're going to do that tune right now for you, Susanna Gale.
Thank you.
Sally Ann?
I'll play that one.
All right, they said we got 1 more hour.
Isn't that what that meant?
Yeah, I think that's what that
That's what it
meant.
always
Yeah.
means, yeah.
Yeah.
That means hours.
Yeah, it takes me about that long in the morning to even get in tune, you know. But we've enjoyed playing for y'all and hope you we've played something that you ain't heard in a while. After I sit down and go to play, and after about 2 hours, I go to remembering all them other tunes, and you know, so sometimes we sit and play for 4 or 5 hours, I guess. But you know, it's fun to do that. But sometimes when you just got a little show to do, it's hard to get all of the tunes and all the talking in. You know. But anyway, we're gonna play. This is, I don't know who gave it this name, but they call it the national anthem of Surrey County, and it's a little bit of Sally Ann.
Slate Mountain Ramblers, everybody.
Well, howdy. One, two, three. Howdy. And Minnie Pearl is with us. She always is. Every single time I do that, somebody imitates Miss Pearl, Minnie Pearl. Yes. I'm going to start out with one that I actually learned from Kaz Wallen. Kaz Wallen was, we called him actually I'm not going to do the one by Kaz, I'm going to do the one by Dillard Chandler. I do this to you, so now you'll never know what poor Kaz wanted sung tonight, because I feel like they're all up here with me. There were 9 of them in 1976 when we went to Washington, D.C. And I'm the only one that's left right now, but there's a bunch of folks that's coming along behind me, and you're going to get to meet one of those later on in the program, because Eleanor Chen is here, and she's going to join me on stage for a couple toward the end of my set. So, but I'm going to do one that I learned from Dillard Chandler now, and you have to realize that when I was learning these songs, I was just a little bitty thing, and I had no idea what the words meant, didn't care. I was just pleased that they would give me the attention they gave me, because they taught me in what they called old-timey knee-to-knee, and that's where they would sit across from me with our knees almost touching, and they would sing a verse, and I would have to sing it back to them, and then they'd sing a second verse. and I would have to sing the first and second back to them. So at the end of the song, they were singing one verse. And like with Lord Bateman and some of those that were really, really long, I would have to start over and sing 93 verses. So I usually knew the song after that 93rd time, just about guaranteed. But this is one I learned from Dillard. Dillard never married. He couldn't read and write, but he sure could sing, and this was one of his favorite songs. He called it A Soldier Traveling from the North. And remember, I was about 8 years old when I learned this, didn't know the meaning to any of them, and when I would ask Granny, well, what does that song mean? She'd pat me on the head and say, you'll understand it when you get a little bit older. A soldier traveling from the north, while the moon shined bright and clearly, the lady knowed the gentleman's horse, because she loved him dearly. She took the horse by the bridle reins, and she led it to the stable. There's hay and oats for ye horse to eat. Go feed him, you are able. She took him by the lily white hand, and she led him to the table. There's cake and wine for you, my love. Go eat and drink, you're welcome. She pulled off her blue silk gown, and she throwed it across the table. He pulled off his uniform suit, and he hopped in the bed with the lady. I heard some trumpets sound, my love, and I must go and find them. Oh, soldier dear, don't you leave me here, for I am burnt forever. When silver bells and conch shall stand, when you and I shall marry, oh, soldier dear, don't you leave me here, for I'm now burnt forever. Now, in that song, there's two verses where I use a word that you've probably never heard before, "rent." When I was 17 years old on stage with Granny one time, I made the mistake of saying, "For I am ruined forever." And I always close my eyes when I sing so I can remember the words. And this hand came out of nowhere in the darkness behind my closed eyelids, and slapped itself over my mouth. And this voice, when my eyes flew open, belonged to my granny. And she was looking out the audience, shaking her head like this, and she said, "No, no, no. It is not ruined. Don't pay no attention to her. She's young and she's not learned yet. That ruined is a lot worse than ruined." So I always have to say ruined now when I sing that song. Now, I heard a lot of talk, I believe, from that wonderful band that was on out here during the first set about the Carter family. Well, I want to share a Carter family story with you. Now, when I went over to Daddy's and Mama's house and informed my father that I wanted to have a tour of Sodom. Oh, Sodom is the little town, not even a town, little mountain community that I grew up in. Some of you might have seen my cousin Donna Ray Norton Swan when she was out here. Well, she's from Sodom as well. And so growing up in Sodom, Daddy said, "You know every spot in Sodom. What could you possibly want a tour of Sodom?" I said, "Well, I want you to show me where everybody used to live." He said, "Oh." So he took me around, showed me where my great-great-grandparents were born and raised their families and passed away and where they were now buried. So I had a complete tour of Sodom until we got down there in what we called the Sophie Strait. And Daddy came to a stop, and he said, "Well, I want to tell you a tale about something that happened to Irvin Ramsey. Do you remember Irvin Ramsey?" And I said, "Why, yes, I remember Irvin Ramsey. He lived with Miss Sophie, and she lived in the big house, and Irvin lived in the house behind her, a little shotgun house." Daddy said, "That's right. And you know why they call it a shotgun house? Because you could stand in the front door and blow the back door off the hinges with a shotgun. So they called it a shotgun house. It's straight through, all the way to the back." So he said, now, Irvin, when he stayed back there in the little house, you know, Leroy and Sophie were in the big house, and the only way, they didn't have phones or anything back in the 30s. He was talking about the 1930s and all. He said they didn't have phones back in the 30s, but now they did have a good notion of what good music sounded like. So he said what happened was, there was a night that Irvin knocked on the back door of Sophie's house, and he was standing out there when she held the lantern up and peeped at him through the door. He was standing there kind of banging himself on the side of his head like, and when Sophie opened the door, he said, "Can you hear that?" And she said, "Can I hear what?" And he said, "I don't know what it is, but it's coming from a fur piece off." Well, see, Irvin had gotten a bad toothache and had to go to the dentist that day. And he had filled up a tooth back there for him and packed it up and had it all fixed up. And Sophie figured that would be the end of it, but little did she know. There stood her brother again the second night on that back porch, thumping himself on the head this time. And she said, "I don't know what has struck you, but you go on to bed now because we've got to get up and go to church." "Well, Irvin, why are you doing that?" And he kept hitting himself on the side of the head. And he said, "You can't hear that fiddle a-playing?" And she said, "Well, no, I don't hear no fiddle a-playing. You're not supposed to hear fiddles a-playing. Why, that's the devil's instrument. You're not supposed to be listening to fiddle music. What? Well, you ain't got nothing to listen to fiddle music with." "Oh, no, there's somebody on the inside of my head that's took to talking, and I can't understand a word they're saying." And Sophie said, "You can't understand a single word?" And Irvin said, "Not a single word, Sophie." So she said, well, praise the Lord. That means they're talking in tongues, and so everything's going to be all right, because we're going to go to church early in the morning, talk to the preacher, and he'll get this all straightened out. So they showed up, and Preacher Manasseh Fender was standing there waiting on them. When they showed up, he's down there reading his Bible, and they walked down the aisle, and got up there to where he was, and told him what all had happened, that Irvin was hearing voices in his head, and now he couldn't understand what they were saying, and he thought he might have even heard a fiddle playing somewhere. Oh, my goodness gracious. Manasseh took his finger and he ran it down through the scripture on one page, and then he thumbed across to 3 or 4 pages more, and then he thumbed it down, and then he finally found what he was looking for. And he closed the Bible and he looked at Irvin Ramsey and he said, well, Irvin, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this tells me that in 1 week you are going to die on Saturday. And Irvin said, just because I'm hearing funny stuff in my head? And he said, just because of that, you're going to die next Saturday. 1 week's all you've got left to live, so you'd better get busy. And being a Free Will Baptist, now we had more Baptists in Sodom than you could shake a stick at. Free Will Baptist, plain old Baptist, missionary Baptist. We had Holy Rolling Baptist. We had Speaking in the Tongue Baptist. We had every kind of Baptist that you could, I like to have forgot the Forgive Me Forever Baptist. We had them too. And we had Buzzard Baptist. Now, Buzzard Baptists were Baptists who only went to church when there was a funeral. And usually they just stood around outside and kind of circled around, you know, the church house. So we called them Buzzard Baptists. Well, so being a Free Will Baptist, though, that meant even Irvin's thoughts could be held against him after he died. So Sophie decided she was going to prevent him from having any bad thoughts at all. So she managed to get Leroy to go around and let everybody know that there's going to be a revival held there at her place. Daddy said, oh, she had them big flat bottoms, you know, where they could get in there and get down on their knees and pray Irvin straight to heaven. Daddy said, you know, they about wore him out of praying him to heaven. He was so tired, wore out of standing up there that next Saturday night. You would have thought they'd have kept him up every day and every night. He was just plumb wore out of standing there, in between the preacher on one side and Sophie on the other. And at 7 o'clock, Daddy said everybody had gathered because they was going to watch a man just fall up dead. And Daddy said there's a praying down there in the lower fields and a praying in the upper fields, and there's a singing in the middle fields, and there's all around. And all of a sudden, Irvin Ramsey pointed toward the sky and said, wait a minute. Daddy said, you would be amazed how quick a swarm of Baptists will come to dead silence when the dead man speaks a few words. All he had to say was, wait a minute. And it got real quiet. And he said, do you mean to tell me you folks out there can't hear this? I just heard somebody say, and tonight it's XER, the Sunshine Station between the nations. And he opened his mouth up real wide, and Daddy said even over there on the rock cliff where him and his brothers were sitting, you could hear the Carter family singing, keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. So they took Irvin Ramsey up to the storehouse, out on the porch. They propped his mouth open with 2 ice cream sticks, and then they listened to the rest of that John Mitchell, or whatever his last name was, that, well, he got into some trouble here in the United States, and he had to go to Mexico, and he built the largest radio tower that has ever been in the Northern Hemisphere. And when he would flip that thing on down there at 7 o'clock in the evening on Saturdays, it would overshadow every other station that was on at that time. And so that is the true story of Irvin Ramsey and how he wound up being the radio for Sodom, for all of Sodom. Well, now, there were the serious love songs, there were the big, long love songs, and then there were some funny love songs. Would you like to hear a funny love song? I might be just the person to ask about that, because I know a good one. This is called The Farmer's Cursed Wife. I bet Donna Ray sung that when she was out here, didn't she? Ah, well, maybe you'll be like me and you won't remember. I've got so much gray on my head now that I say something and 5 minutes later I forget that I've said it. So if I say something more than once, you'll know what's going on. Everything's fine. All right, so here is The Farmer's Cursed Wife. There was an old farmer lived over the hill. If he ain't moved away, he's living there still, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, the devil stepped up to the old man at plow and said, one of your family I'm a-taking right now, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. And the farmer, he said, I've come undone. You've come to get my only son, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, it's not your son or your gal I crave, but your old scolding wife, and her I'll have, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, welcome, sweet Satan, from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you and her nevermore shall part, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, he stuffed her down in an old tow sack, and he looked like a camel with a hump on its back, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Carried her down to the forks of the road, said, get down, old woman, you're a hell of a load, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, he carried her up to the gates of hell, said, punch up a fire, boys, roast her well, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, there's 6 little demons a-setting on the wall. She grabbed up a poker and she thrashed them all, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Along come a little demon, he's a-dragging his chain. She grabbed him up and smattered out his brains, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, she grabbed old Satan by the hair of the head, said, I'd have done killed you if you weren't done dead, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, the littlest demon stepped up and said, better take her back, Daddy, or we'll all be dead, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, the farmer saw him coming and he bit his tongue, and he broke for the woods in a flat-out run, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. And he is heard to say as he run o'er the hill, if the devil won't have her, be damned if I will, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. And the children, they said, we surely are cursed. She went to hell and she's come back worse, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Said I've been the devil for all of my life, but I'd never been to hell till I met your wife, singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Well, this proves that the women are better than the men, 'cause we can go to hell and come back again, a-singing fi, fi, diddle-I, fi, diddle-I, diddle all day. Thank you, Miss Eleanor, for allowing me to use your wonderful banjo. And I came out here 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, thereabouts. I'm sure it seems a lot longer than that to the people who put me up. Ray and Lauren Chin have put me up over the last couple of weeks, and they're bringing me back and forth from San Jose up here. So I would just like to publicly thank them for all that they're doing for me while I'm here. And so they're unaware of the fact that I've decided I'm not going back home. So if you see them, don't mention it to them. I'll tell them eventually. Maybe they won't notice me for the first couple of months. This is one that's got a chorus to it that goes, fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. You got it? Cool, because I want you to sing it with me. So I'm going to start out by singing a couple of verses I learned from a wonderful fiddle player up in Mount Airy, North Carolina by the name of Tommy Gerald. And he called the song Susanna Gal, but over home we called it Fly Around My Pretty Little Miss. And it goes like this. I better hit the right note though, hadn't I? Oh, the higher up the cherry tree, the riper are the cherries, and the more you hug and kiss the gals, sooner they will marry. Fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. Let's do that chorus again. Fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. All right, here's the next one by Tommy. He said they'd took to naming young'uns after mules. Gonna hitch old Logan in the front and Morgan in behind. I'm going down that rocky road to see that gal of mine. Fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. This one I learned from Burzilla Walling, Granny's sister, when she was 86 years old. Wish I had me a pretty little pig and corn to feed him on. Wish I had me a blue-eyed man to feed him when I was gone. Fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. Now, Granny taught me this next one, but there's 2 verses and then the chorus, and she would say, now always tell people you're going to put 2 verses in there because you don't want them blurting that chorus out right in the middle of that other verse, because that will embarrass them, and that's not fair. When I was a little bitty boy, all I wanted was a knife. Now that I'm a great big boy, all I want is a wife. When I was a great big boy, all I wanted was a wife. Now that I'm an old man, all I need is a knife. Fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. This is one I learned from Cas Walden. I went to see my gal last night, the dress she wore was red, and every time I looked at her I wished my wife was dead. Fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. And then there was Inez Chandler, double barrel Chandler as she referred to herself. And she didn't care what nobody thought. And she said exactly what she pleased, and she taught me this last verse. Oh, you run around the mulberry bush, and I'll run around the cedar. You pull up your petticoat, and I'll pull out for Georgia. Fly round my pretty little miss, fly round my daisy, fly round my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. Fly round. Now I'm going to call Eleanor up here now. Yep. And we're going to do something that that has never been done in all of mankind's history. No, it's not that dramatic, but we are going to try something here in a minute. But first, Eleanor is going to sing you, hopefully, a ballad that she learned from me. And I have to say this much about Eleanor. She has probably learned more of the traditional ballads that I sing, traditional Appalachian ballads that I sing, than anybody else that I refer to as one of my young'uns. And this is one of my young'uns right here.
Well, yeah, I did learn this from Sheila maybe as much as 10 years ago. This is Black is the Color. Black is the color of my... I'm going to take it up. I've learned well from all of the old-time musicians that when you mess up, you just fix it. Black is the color of my true love's hair. His face is like some rosy fair, with the prettiest face and the neatest hands. I love the ground whereon he stands. I love my loving well he knows. I love the ground whereon he goes. And if you never know more on earth I see, I wouldn't serve him like he served me. The winter's past and the leaves are green. Our time is past that we have seen, and still I hope the day will come when you and I shall be as one. So fare thee well, my own true love. Our time has passed. 1,000 times. I love my loving well, he knows. I love the ground whereon he goes. And if you never know more on earth I see, I wouldn't serve him like he served me.
So now I'm going to do something that I've never done in my entire life, which is read a ballad off a piece of paper in front of people. And this is not because it's one that Eleanor and I both don't know. It's because it is one of those ballads that has verses that you can change. You could change wherever they can be put. It doesn't go straight through in a story. So we decided we'd cheat on this one. I hope you don't mind. All right. As we march down to Venerio, as we march down to Venerio, our captain fell in love with a lady like a dove, and they called her Pretty Peggy, oh. Come along and go with me, Pretty Peggy, oh. Come along and go with me, Pretty Peggy, oh. In coaches you shall ride with your true love by your side, just as grand as any lady in the air I owe. What would your mother think, Pretty Peggy, oh? What would your mother think, Pretty Peggy, oh? What would your mother think for to hear the guineas clink and the soldiers marching before ye, oh? You're the man that I adore, sweet William, oh. You're the man that I adore, sweet William, oh. You're the man that I adore, but your fortune is too small. I'm afraid my mother would be angry, oh. Come a-tripping down the stairs, Pretty Peggy, oh. Come a-tripping down the stairs, Pretty Peggy, oh. Come a-tripping down the stairs, combing back your yeller hair. Take a last farewell of sweet William, oh. If ever I return, Pretty Peggy, oh. If ever I return, Pretty Peggy, oh. If ever I return, then your cities I will burn and destroy all the ladies in the air I owe. Our captain, he is dead, Pretty Peggy, oh. Our captain, he is dead, Pretty Peggy, oh. Our captain, he is dead, and he died for a maid, and he's buried in Louisiana country, oh. Thank you all very much.
How's it going, everyone? Woo! Play some music for you. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
sinking low down in Alabama neath the sunny skies. It was in the month of June when the roses were in bloom. By the roadside they were sweet, you passing by. She's a flower from the fields of Alabama. Take her for she loves you, this I know. Help and love wherever you go. She's a blessing to bestow. She's a flower from the fields of Alabama. wife is sitting by my side. She is just dear to me, in her eyes true love I see, as she was the day I heard her mother say, she's a flower from the fields of Alabama. Take her for she loves you, this I know. Help them love wherever you go, she's a blessing to bestow. She's a flower from the fields of Alabama.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. My name's Ngozi Fields. This is Ryan Nickerson on the guitar and Reed Stutz on the banjo. Yeah, having a good time. Kind of rushed up here, so getting my bearings, I feel like. We're gonna play a tune called Buckskin Reel.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, what do we got next?
Someone's on fire. Well, we're gonna do a Carter family song. It's one of my favorites. It's called I Can't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. Getting to go see to get his Maybelle Carter on here with the auto harp.
My second passion. So, the auto harp.
Ready?
Yeah.
This world's not my home, I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are all beyond the blue, where many friends and kindreds have gone on before, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what would I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Over in glory land, there'll be no dying there. The saints are shouting victory and singing everywhere. I hear the voice of them that I've heard before, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what would I do? Angels begging me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother over in glory land. I don't expect to stop until I shake her hand. She's gone on before, she's waiting at heaven's door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what would I do? Angels begging me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. No, I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
Mr. Reed Stutz on the clawhammer banjo and the vocals. Here's a classic little ditty I got from Bruce Green called Sal's Got Mud Between Her Toes. Thank you. Get in line.
Yeah.
Have any words about this one?
Well, this is a pretty new one, and it's kind of a bluegrass standard. I know, right? But in our defense, it calls itself an old-time song. So you'll hear that. But we wanted to work up like a three-part kind of harmony thing, and this is kind of what we've worked out. And it's called Get in Line, Brother.
Yeah, very fresh. So.
Negosi's gonna play some bluegrass auto harp for you.
I'm ready.
Wait, can I hear that chord again? Close. Y'all doing all right?
I gotta tune this.
You probably do, honestly.
Listen to me, sinners.
Okay, that's what.
Sinners, don't you wanna go for some days coming back again? You know, if that wrong ain't right and you'll be lost in sin,
Get in line, brother.
He will take you in. Get in line, brother, if you wanna go home. Get on your knees and right in that wrong, then you'll be singing this old time song.
Get in line, brother.
If you wanna go home. Listen to me, Satan, I have righted that wrong. Got a one-way ticket and I'm going home. I've got no worries while I sing this song.
Get in line, brother.
If you wanna go home. Get in line, brother, if you wanna go home. Get on your knees and right in that wrong, then you'll be singing this old-time song.
Get in line, brother.
If you wanna go home. If I could tell you, brother, just how I feel, then I'm sure you'd know the love of God is real. And you'll be praying while I sing this song.
Get in line, brother.
If you wanna go home. Get in line, brother, if you wanna go home. Get on your knees and right in that wrong, then you'll be singing this old time song.
Get in line, brother.
If you wanna go home, then you'll be singing this old time song.
Get in line, brother.
If you wanna go home.
Thank you. Do some more tuning. little Midwest number for you called Dick Sands Hornpipe. We got a couple more. Thank you everyone for coming out, and thanks to Susie and like everyone who helped put this festival on. The Freight and Salvage. Yeah, this is like one of my favorite festivals because it's just super chill and like lots of fun, and everyone's super cool and brings a lot of different people out. So thank you so much. And again, we got Reed Stutz on the banjo and vocals, Ryan Nickerson on guitar. I really appreciate playing with these guys, so it's fun.
Love playing with you.
Thank you. I like tuning, so. Cool. You better come get me Diamond Joe.
I'm gonna buy a sack of flour, make me a hoe cake every hour, Diamond Joe. You better come get me Diamond Joe. I'm gonna buy a sack of meal, make me a hoe cake soon as I feel, Diamond Joe. You better come get me Diamond Joe. I'm gonna buy a piece of meat, cook me a slice up once a week, Diamond Joe. You better come get me Diamond Joe. I'm gonna buy a jug of whiskey, I'm gonna make my daddy frisky, Diamond Joe. You better come get me Diamond Joe. I'm gonna buy a jug of rum, I'm gonna make my daddy some, Diamond Joe. You better come get me Diamond Joe.
Thank you, everyone. And again, thanks to the Berkeley Old Time Convention and Susie and everyone helping and the freight and all the friends. Thank you.
Nicosi Fields Trio. That was so fantastic. You can hear more of their amazing playing at Saturday night's Square Dance, along with the, sorry? Encore? Encore, encore? You can hear more of them right now.
Me? Little old us? All right, we're gonna attempt something. It's called The Gray Eagle from Herman Johnson. He was an Oklahoma fiddler that played like Texas kind of stuff.
One second.
Yep. All good. Really appreciate it. We'll see you at a party or something. No? Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming. We'll be back tomorrow night with more great music, and we'll see you there.